Hi, I'm Jeremy Rugerberg. Thanks for joining the show. What you're about to see is the shortened version of the full-length interview. This is a family-friendly podcast.
Oh, man.
Damn it.
I love Jesus, but I also love the F word.
Let's talk about Delta 8s. You were like mixing shampoos and soaps and all that kind of stuff, hairsprays. You're just like mouthwash. We're just mixing stuff?
Yeah, and
If you'd like to see more of the interview, please go to our Patreon page. Information is in the show notes. Now, let's get to the show. Hi, welcome to the show today. I am excited to have in the studio Morgan Fordham. Morgan was our May front cover story in Medical Professionals Augusta, and she is the pharmacist in charge at Custom Pharmacy in North Augusta. Welcome, Morgan, to the show.
Well, thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Well, I'm glad you're here. So let's start off with some really important questions, as we normally do on the show.
Okay.
So just real quick, is the word or the name Morgan, is that German or is that shorthand for like smorgasborgen? Or is it just short because you're short? Oh, okay. Or are you Morgan or Leskin? Whew. Okay. Well, one more question then. Do you have altitude sickness right now or anything, because you're sitting a little bit higher than you normally, stand? Do you need any cocoa leaves to chew on, or? Which leads me into the question about drugs. All right, so so speaking of, you being a pharmacist and everything, when was the first time that you realized that you would be actually referred to as a drug dealer?
Oh, that's a tough question. I guess we joked around about it and said that we were all going to be drug dealers in some way, shape, or form in the family. But I guess pharmacy school and getting into compounding, and I'm more so like a drug lord instead of a dealer, because I actually make the drugs instead of just dispense them.
So do you actually dispense them through, is it prop planes? Do you, have a few mules that take them out to various medical practices around Augusta?
I've looked into it because I feel like, you got to be able to stand out in some way, shape, or form. And I've been to some local farms lately, so we might have around Easter some chicks running around with your drugs, since those are always, at the different areas around here in Tractor Supply.
Well, I like what you guys do also with getting children involved with drugs during Halloween, and being the one to actually put in not just drugs, but razor blades into, candies, especially candied apples, I feel like people that actually pass out those orange peanuts are the true drug dealers. I mean, that's the worst substance.
Without question.
Yeah. They say it's marshmallow, but it's the hardest marshmallow substance ever. So just, one other question about you and your background. Did, President Reagan's wife, Nancy Reagan, did her anti-drug Just Say No campaign, did that hurt your business at all?
I really don't think it has.
What about the commercial when there was a guy cooking eggs and that was your brain on drugs? Did that help with anything? Did that hurt anything?
I mean, we offer the bacon, so I mean, I'm pretty sure that people like bacon and eggs, so it worked for us.
That show or that little commercial was probably the best commercial for Waffle House. Because that's the thing that you want the most, especially if you've been having drugs, is to have some bacon and eggs.
Yes.
And Waffle House is 24/7.
Right.
Last question is, how much shit do you know about your patients and the rashes that they all have?
I know more than I would like to in some situations. You know, some of them are very open, and they will start undressing or lifting their shirt or, you know, unbuttoning their pants to show me because they don't want to go to the doctor. They want me to diagnose it. So that is extremely interesting, and you would probably be shocked of how many people want to show body parts.
Yeah. And are you able to, like, what do you do at that point? Are you just like, hey, it looks like it's this, but I can't prescribe you anything?
Yeah. The minute, you know, they start taking off their clothes, I'm like, wait. You really need to go see a physician for that. Like, if it's not just red, then I suggest you go to your doctor because there's nothing I can do. Like, save it for them and we can help you afterwards.
Save it for them. Cover back up. I remember this when we were doing the photo shoot with you. I just thought, you know, you had all these drugs and compounding substances and whatnot, and then you had a big thing of Jiffy peanut butter, and I thought that was the funniest thing. And you're like, yeah, for animals.
Right.
And I was like, oh, that makes sense.
We put drugs in peanut butter, and then when you feed a dog peanut butter, which it's sugar-free, doesn't have xylitol, of course, but you can trick your animal into, if they like a little bit of peanut butter as a treat, they can get medicine in it.
Interesting. So last question, and then we can go on to something, you know, far less serious, is out of all the drugs that you compound, what kind of percentage of the drugs to be taken are oral versus rectal?
Oh, topical's actually top one, but rectal, I did about 4 of them today. So, I mean, that's up there as well. I would probably say that we do.
It's up there.
It's up there.
Oh,
for sure.
it is. It's number 1 on our list.
We definitely do a lot of rectal and probably more than oral.
Wow. So let's go back all the way to, how did you start in medicine? Why pharmacy?
Both of my parents are pharmacists, and both of them own their own pharmacies. My dad had Dunkin' Drugs, and I grew up in it. I was the child who counted Skittles and tried to give you my medicine when you bought yours. Anytime I was sick, I would take naps like in the bays, and I just hung out at the pharmacy. I loved it. So I knew I wanted to chase after my dreams of being a pharmacist and following after his footsteps. And then I started working for Eric Colgate at Custom Prescription Shop when I was 15 or 16. He gave me my first job, and I never heard of compounding. I didn't know a single thing about it. And when he introduced me to it, that is when I fell in love, and I knew that I was going to be a compounding pharmacist.
And where did you go to school, and how was that experience for you?
I went to South University. Well, first I was in Augusta for undergrad, but South University in Savannah for pharmacy school, and I loved it. It's a 3-year accelerated program, but it worked out for me because I know that if I had summers off, it would take me way too long to get back into the swing of things. And I loved living in Savannah, so just going around until they spit me out, I was perfectly happy with it. So I loved that aspect of it.
And there is enough trouble to get into in Savannah, not just summer times. So what would you say makes your practice very different or unique in the medical community?
Definitely because we're compounding only, which any standard prescription that you can get filled at any other pharmacy, we don't do. We do specialties. So we concentrate on hormone replacement therapy, veterinary medicines.
Hence the peanut butter.
Right, hence the peanut butter. We also do pediatrics. If anyone has any allergies, we can make specialty meds for them without the dyes or preservatives or whichever. And then especially if you're sick or a patient's on hospice, if you can't take anything orally, a good percent, not all drugs, but a good percent of them, we can turn into a topical so you can absorb it that way if you cannot. Like Phenergan, like if you're so sick that you're throwing up and you can't keep anything down, we can make it into a cream.
Interesting.
So, I mean, we do everything that if your normal medication can't help you and for some reason, we try to do the best we can to provide alternative care.
Now, is pharmacology, is that something that's just extremely mathematical? It's just remembering how much of this minus how much of that. We can use this chemical with that, but you can't use it with this. Is it just having to memorize those things, or is it more of an art?
I would say basically, like if you just read it, it's harder to memorize it, but the more you work with it, it is kind of like an art and trade to where I can look at something. For instance, there's a physician who wanted me to make something for their office, and they weren't sure of the exact ingredients. They knew some of them, but not all of them. And they gave me a sample of what they wanted it to look like. And I immediately knew, just from experience, how I could make a product to look extremely similar, if not identical to it. So, you know, there's certain things that I may look into ingredients, and with the practice, I know exactly how fast to spin it, how not to spin it so fast, if it'll become sticky or fall out of suspension. So it's, I mean, the more you work with it, the more interesting it is.
It's trial and error.
Right. And a lot of it is. If it's a brand new prescription, there's some of them to where it just doesn't work. And then so I have to find a way to do it. So it's fun.
Were you the type of kid who, when you're in the bathtub, you were like mixing shampoos and soaps and all that kind of stuff, hairsprays, you're just like mouthwash? We're just mixing stuff?
Yeah, and even peanut butter and jelly. I would not put the peanut butter and jelly on two sides of the bread. I would mix them together in a bowl and then put it on the bread.
You would compound peanut butter and jelly as a kid?
Yes, that's how I would make our peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for my brothers. Interesting.
Do you still do that today?
Yes.
Let's talk about Delta 8s.
Okay.
So how do you feel about Delta 8? It seems to be a burgeoning thing people are taking more so now than just CBD, because you have a little more of an effect. Maybe it helps you become more drowsy, or maybe it helps you want to eat more food.
For sure.
Helps you time warp into different times and locations. Gives you that out-of-body
on how much you take.
That out-of-body experience you've always wanted. It helps way more than CBD.
It does. I have a lot of people on Delta 8, and I've seen a lot of therapeutic benefits in it. I'm a firm believer in that, and medicinal marijuana, 100%, I'm on board. I'm actually trying to be not necessarily dispensary, but the pharmacist in the
drug dealer.
Exactly. In South Carolina, when they vote on it in January. So it will come out of a pharmacy. They're voting to see if it's either per county or per mile radius or whatnot, but I'm on board 100%. But Delta 8, I've seen a lot of patients on it that I personally have that helps with sleep. I've taken it for sleep. It's amazing. I don't feel bad the next morning. Now, the thing with Delta 8 is you will fail a drug test. I have tested it on myself. I've taken one at night, and then drug test myself the following morning so I can tell patients. And yes, it does show up as THC when I tried it. Mm-hmm. And then I've had patients who have been addicted to opioids who have called back, and with the approval of their pain physician, because anytime they come and see me, I was like, you need to contact your pain physician to make sure the clinic and everything is okay with you doing this. And if they're on board, I have two particular ones that have been so addicted to opioids over the past 2 years that they have not taken opioids since they've started Delta 8.
Wow.
So to me, that's a huge thing.
Absolutely.
But I mean, I believe in it.
Do you think Delta 8s are addictive in any way? Like, meaning your body will not rest as well if you don't take it over a period of time?
I haven't seen, I guess, long-term use in someone with Delta 8, because we just started carrying them a few months ago, and it is kind of a fairly new, popular thing right now. But I mean, the feeling you get if you do take a lot, I can see you definitely for sure wanting to do it, because it is similar to opioids or whatnot, whether or not you're taking 25 milligram or 50 milligram or whichever. So, I mean, I could possibly see someone, yes, getting addicted to that feel, but is, someone in the healthcare physician or field, I would rather them do something that's either over the counter than go and get narcotics. And I'd rather them do that to me, in my eyes, is safer than going and getting hooked on narcotics.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. 100%. You know what's as addictive as narcotics and opioids?
Caffeine.
Close. Is Squid Game. Yes. Have you seen that show?
I have. I will be honest with you. I did not get it at first. I'm a subtitle reader. That doesn't bother me, but it bothers me if someone's lips don't match with the voice. So that took me a while to get into. But I will say, once I made it to the second episode and kind of got used to that, because I was trying really hard to figure out what everyone was obsessed with, I was hooked, and I did not stop until I finished the whole season.
So it bothers you when someone's mouth and lips don't line up what they're trying to say.
I can't. I can't stand it. I can't because I'm a lip reader.
Ah, so, wait, you're reading lips without my permission? I would have known that.
100%. Where am I?
Up against the wall. For this next game, you must insert this USB drive in the computer on your first try.
I can't. Oh my God, I can't. Oh my God, please God. I'm so sorry for the keychain I stole at Food Line when I was 6 years old. My mom made me return it. I'm so sorry, and then I stole it again. And I promise, I'll never do it again. And even more, I promise that I will never jump in a pool fully clothed again, in a stranger's pool. Yes! I got it! Shimmy.
Now, you must watch what is on here for 10 seconds.
No. Oh, God, no. I can't see it. No. No. Oh, my God, no.
Is there a specific event that has forever shaped you in your career in what you're doing in pharmacology?
I don't mean to sound cliche and kind of suck up-ish, but it would honestly, a change in my career has been meeting you, because I'm honestly.
Do go on.
Honestly.
Seriously.
I have been through some rough patches, and this year has been one of the hardest or more difficult ones on a personal level, to where I was on the verge of not necessarily giving up, but just quit fighting for it. And then I'd met you and you're like, hey, do you want to we talked about you to be on the cover. And I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? And then you just kind of lit my little fire back, and now I'm here.
Nice.
I'm back.
Well, excited. I mean, the minute that I had heard about who you were and what you did, and I had known so many people who have done work with you, I'm like, oh my goodness, that's the person. So it was exciting to think behind the scenes, you had no idea what was going on, and maybe you're being exhausted, but you're serving the community in such a great way. You didn't know that, and people are celebrating you and recognizing you. And all I did was just the focus of, hey, do you know that all these people really like you and respect you? And can we tell your story?
Yeah.
So congratulations. Kudos to you on all your work. That's awesome.
Thank you. But yes, that for sure would be the biggest
Don't get me wrong.
transition.
I will take credit for all of that. Happily. But thank you. So what was it in particular that made you feel the fire come back? I would love other providers to hear where yours went, and then how did that come back through this dynamic?
Right. I honestly got into a situation where I felt like what I was doing just wasn't good enough, or it wasn't helping people enough, or I felt like I was trying so hard and it didn't really matter to anybody. But then when you came to me, I was like, wait a minute, hold on. Like, it does matter. Like, people are starting to recognize me. And, you know, so I had no idea. But my advice would just be like, don't quit. Keep fighting, because somebody needs you and they're recognizing your hard work. And, I mean, if you're doing what you love and to help patients, then those patients realize it.
That's right.
And they respect it, whether or not they verbalize it or not.
Is there some things that you're excited about, looking forward to this upcoming year?
I'm excited about many things. I mean, if it is posted in 2022, I hope that, you know, I'll be in the position to where we can grow, because I definitely want to continue expanding. And Augusta's going to see a lot more of me, hopefully.
We like that. Augusta likes you. We need to see more of you. That would be great. More GAN, not less GAN.
I like it.
I TM'd it. I trademarked that. Do you have any specific concerns in the field of medicine?
The main thing I want to see is not necessarily just an independent pharmacist, but physicians. And so the whole choice of, and I know I wrote about it in the article in the magazine, or the interview in the magazine, is the choice of, yes, you have health insurance and you can choose whatever plan you'd like, but I wish that regardless of the health insurance plan that you have, you can choose whichever physician you want to go to and whichever pharmacy you want to get your medicines filled at.
And of course, one of the things we're looking forward to most in 2020 is your after hours bar and saloon, right? This has got to happen.
Oh, without question. I mean, I'm
in
for
2022. It has to happen.
Yes, a like speakeasy piano bar.
What would you name your speakeasy? That's such a great name.
Mo. Something with Mo.
I think you should name it Pirate's Booty.
Okay.
Because you have a great story about pirate booty. And I've seen the coin. Explain to everybody what that is and why that's so important to you.
There are 3 things that I carry around with me at all times. No matter where I'm at, they are on me and are in my purse. And 2 of them are different coins. And one my dad got from a treasure dive trip before I was 15, before he went away. And I carry around for good luck. And then his friend gave me one. And then he also gave me, it's a buckeye, a bucknut. And he had given me one, and his friend gave him, me, and Donald Trump one. So I always carry them around for good luck. This is actually a buckeye, like from the tree. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's talk music. What are some of your favorite styles of music? I feel like I'm an old soul, I will say, for sure. My number one that I always play on Pandora is Barry White. You know, I have been singing Barry White songs when I have a cold. So Are you serious?
My throat is very low. It's the lowest I can go.
Barry White.
Oh, he's sexy, man. His voice.
But
yeah.
I mean, his voice.
Well, yeah, he's not sexy, but his voice is sexy. Let me say something.
Yes. So 100%. And then earlier at the pharmacy, we were playing Leon Bridges, but I love all that stuff.
Was that the album Leon Bridges Falling Down?
It was just the Pandorist.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the bridge.
What are some of your hobbies and interests outside of work? Anything outdoors and jumping in swimming pools. Most of the pools you jump into are outdoors, so that kind of works well.
Right.
But you like to hunt? Are you an outdoors? Okay.
Huge.
Gamesman?
My top 3 are dove. I just went dove hunting with my dad a couple months ago for the first time in 15 years. So that was amazing. And quail, we don't necessarily hunt. We cheat. We get them from a quail farm. And so kind of like
And put them in a cage?
They're under hay bales.
Interesting.
So have you ever seen the movie Wedding Crashers?
Yes.
Where they all line up and they have their guns and all line.
Yes.
That's what we do. So we go and we like hang out and ride around, all line up. And they just say, you ready? And then they kick the hay bale, they fly up, we shoot them, and the birds go get them, and then we have a beer. Do you sing karaoke often? Oh, gosh. And what's your favorite karaoke go-to? For some reason, I just make the very poor decision of singing Shania Twain, although, no one can compare or compete to Shania Twain. Yeah. And I mean, everyone butchers it. So it's okay if I do too, because no one is expecting me to hit that note.
Typically, I like to karaoke with like a Mariah Carey song. But right now, I'm sporting the Barry White voice. Yeah.
Barry White. I wish I could do that.
Wait. You could sing.
Like sing.
Oh, gotcha.
No.
This is a family-friendly podcast.
Oh, man.
Damn it. Do you have a favorite cuss word?
Absolutely.
Which one do you like? And
100%.
How do you often employ that vocabulary?
It. What the Like, generally, I say it maybe 20 times a day.
Do you find it helps your day get better?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Like, something happened, I'm like, oh, A, and then I'll just keep going. I mean, I love Jesus, but I also love the F word.
Hey, that word exists for a reason.
Yes.
It's got to be there.
It does.
For a reason.
There was a study that I read that said people who cuss are actually, like, more intelligent.
So how would you describe this podcast so far?
Awesome.
Yes. Yes. Take that, Fred Durst. What are you most grateful for today?
Honestly, again,
no, let's not do honestly.
This is going to be like a cliche thing, everything. Because when I was younger, I'll admit it, I was a spoiled brat and I did not realize everything that I had, and I was not hardly grateful for anything. Given an opportunity, I've gotten a second chance. I did not think I was going to get a second chance, but I'm just grateful to have a second chance in everything that comes and goes, and people in my life. Like, I try to hold everything as close as possible as I can.
Yeah. I'm so glad I got to meet your dad. He's an awesome dude.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yes. I hope to be at least a tenth of the person that he is and have that respect when I grow up, because he's everything. He's one of the reasons why I don't give up.
Yeah.
Because that man, he has fought something for over 15 years and never quit fighting. And it paid off.
Well, Morgan, the last thing I'm going to ask you to do is, if you can look at your camera, but can you tell people how to contact you and what phone number or how to get in touch with you when they have a need?
Yeah. I'm on Instagram, and we're Custom Pharmacy of North Augusta, and we're Custom Pharmacy in North Augusta. We're at 401 West Martintown Road in North Augusta, obviously. And we're also on TikTok as the neighborly drug dealer. So you can watch me make drugs, and Mo at custompharmacyrx.com.
Awesome. So great. Thank you for being on the show. It's always good to sit down with you. We've got to do this again.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I did a lot better than I thought I was going to.
You rocked it. Very good.
I normally break out in a rash.
I'm just glad we got through this without saying any cuss words. Good. Awesome. Thanks.